Hey everybody, we've got lots of changes coming for 2024, tax brackets and all these wonderful things. So we've got some adjustments we got to talk about real quick. So here they are, they're fresh off the presses from the IRS just a couple days ago. The new 2024 income tax brackets. So percentages are all the same. And those of you that have watched a lot of my tax videos, you know I try to represent this in what I consider the most usable fashion, because I include the standard deduction, which is bigger this year. We've actually got a nice little boost to our standard deduction this year. And I call that your zero tax bracket. We only get taxed one bucket at a time, and our first tax bracket has zero because that standard deduction without itemizing is $16,550 for single people and $32,300 for married couples. So unless you have a big mortgage, lots of taxes, lots of other stuff that you're paying, you're probably not itemizing anymore. Most retirees don't at this point. So the other cool thing, notice all of these brackets are getting bigger and bigger, and it's because of the standard deduction, but also the IRS automatically increases each of these buckets to inflation every year. And so now the 10% bucket goes to $55,000 for married and $28,000 single. But here's the great one. Everybody knows tax efficiency is that 12% or less. If you're a low-income family or retiree, they consider this your tax brackets, the 0, 10, and 12. Anybody making more than 63 single and more than 126 married, you are considered to be in the higher tax brackets. 20s and 30s is what you're going to be paying. So that big cutoff right there, 12 to 22, that's the biggest jump in our taxation. So when we look at this, we say, okay, how do we keep ourselves in the $63,700 single or 126,600? That's taxable income before they take that standard deduction. It's just all that money coming in. Remember, only 85% of your Social Security is considered taxable income. So that is a nice little boost. We've got over $6,000 boost to married people and over $3,000 for single people in these tax brackets, and that's helping us quite a bit. Next up, trust tax brackets. This is just a reminder. If you leave money in a trust after that trust has received its own EIN, so not the standard revocable living trust while you're alive, but after you're passed, after the grantor has passed, an EIN must be generated. And if money is still in there and growing and earning and causing taxable events, the tax bracket for a trust is horrific. Get your money out of that trust as soon as you can. If you have a relative that's passed away and you're in charge of disseminating all the money, get it done quickly. These tax brackets are horrific. The first $3,000 is taxed at 10%. 3 to 11,000 is taxed at 24%. That's a big jump in taxation. And then another big jump in taxation, 11,000 to 15. We're not talking large amounts of money here. If this is $1 million+ trust generating lots of income, you're paying 37%. This is terrible. So get your money out of there. Next update is long-term capital gains and qualified dividends. Look at this. Zero tax bracket. Qualified dividends and long-term capital gains are tax advantaged. Please utilize this properly in your portfolio. For single people, the first 63,000 total income, including your long-term capital gains qualified dividends, those qualified dividends and long-term capital gains are taxed at zero. You're going to have to watch the tax classes to really understand how taxation works, but understand this is taxed after your ordinary income. Okay, so this is the cumulative total of the income. And if you look at that income tax bracket, this is pretty close to the same as the top of your 12% tax bracket currently. So if your total income, including the capital gains and dividends, are within that 12% tax bracket, you're going to pay zero on those capital gains and dividends. And then when you're paying 20 something on that income tax bracket, you're only paying 15 or 18 here. And then when you're paying 30s, you're only paying 20s here. So these are very tax advantaged and should be used properly in your portfolio. And that's where making sure you have the right investments and the right parts of your portfolio always becomes very important. Being as efficient as possible. And then a couple other things that have been adjusted. Your estate tax exemption for 2024 is over $13 million. Now, remember, in 2026, the temporary doubling ends. So we're going to go back to now, what is that? $6,800,000 something thousand. Okay. So this is a under a temporary doubling. So this is per individual. If you're married, that is a whole lot, 27.2-ish, 27.22 million for a married couple. So 13 million each. Annual exclusion jumps up to 18,000. You can give as many people 18,000. You don't have to report it. That's the point of the annual exclusion. If you give 19, nobody gets taxed. You just have to report it, and it reduces your $13 million exemption by that $1,000. And then there's the 401k maximum deposits are up to 23. If you're in the catch-up zone over 50, you're able to do another 7,500. So we're over 30,000 at this point. And then IRAs are up to 7,000 contributions per year. Over 50, you can do an extra 1,000. That puts you over 8,000 you can put in to your IRAs. All right, that's the roundup of the important numbers. I'll be honest, there was about, I think I was told there was 137 adjustments if you count them individually, but most of them are just little tiny things, you know, here and there that they were adjusting. But these are the big ones that apply to most people. So wanted to make sure we got those out as quick as possible. Thanks. Share with everybody because these numbers become very important for your planning for 2024. The tax brackets are really important for your planning. And then certainly if you're still saving the deposits, all that type of stuff, it's we got to keep an eye on this stuff and be as efficient as we can be these days. Let us know if we can help out in any way. Shoot us an email, give us a call, share this video, subscribe to our channel, new videos every single week. Thanks again, everybody. See you next week.